I was riding one day on the back with a kid with a four-wheeler, and we come out here and jumped onto this road, and it was dirt then, and my leg fell off. We were riding double on a 200X, Honda 200X, I think it was. And my leg fell off, and it sucked me right underneath the four-wheeler and pretty much was just ripping my leg off. And he realized, the kid driving realized that the motor's bogging out and it ain't going nowhere, something's wrong. And he looks down, and I'm just sucked right underneath the thing. And of course he locked the brakes up, which is, you know, the good thing to do so the tire doesn't keep spinning. But then now my leg's grinding into the gravel. But you know what? It was one of them things. What do you do? But we used to do some bad stuff too. So we used to chase deer with the four-wheelers. We used to go right up in the field and just chase the deer all over the place. Yeah, we were like 12, 13, 14 years old. And we used to come out like a field like here. We used to chase deer in this field all the time before that person lived up there. But we would get out there and just chase deer. Man, them things are so fast. They run straight for like a long time, and then they'll just cut and be gone. And the whole time they could have cut earlier and been gone, but they don't realize. They think that you can just turn and stuff as fast as they can. So they'll just run straight out through the field, and you'll be like directly behind them, almost running them right over. And then they'll just cut and, you know, come across the road or do whatever. So we used to do that. Obviously now if you did that, people would report you and you'd get in big trouble. But back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, people didn't really care as long as you weren't out destroying their stuff. But now with environmentalists and everything else, you know, if they see you doing anything, they want to turn you in. I mean, geez. Some of these people around here now that don't normally live up here, well, I shouldn't say they don't normally live up here. I should say they didn't grow up here. They weren't, like I moved up here in 3rd grade, so I was up here, you know, long before a lot of these people ever showed up. Well, what happens is these people, the older people, you know, get old or move away or whatever, and then the younger families end up buying it. And they get up here, and you know, us as kids were riding this area for, you know, 10, 15 years on four-wheelers, and then somebody will come in and say, oh, well, I own this property now, and we don't want you riding on it. And you're like, okay, so then you find another way around. But a lot of the people that moved in, you know, are from downstate, like Philadelphia area and New Jersey and stuff like that. And they want to leave the hustle and bustle and come up to well, like, see, there's a good example of people not waving. We'll do a story on that. You see, I just waved to that guy and he didn't even wave back. That's not right. Should I turn around? No, we're not going. We're going to just keep going this way, because this beast of a DR, I'd probably run him right down, run him right over like cattle, just run him right over. So anyhow, let's go. What was I saying? Oh, people that's moved up here. When we were kids, it was a different set of people, and then I think that's the Sandos. They got a whole bunch of bikes over there. They come up here from New Jersey and Philly and all that stuff, and they come up here, and then, you know, you have four-wheeler trails that might go on the edge of their property or whatever, and then they won't say nothing to you, and you'll be riding through one day, and they'll come flying down with a truck and cut you off like the Dukes of Hazzard. Hey, what are you doing on my property? Well, you know, I've been riding through here for 10 years. Well, we own this now. We don't want you coming through here. And you're like, all right. So you go somewhere else. But over the years, that's the way it's become. Nobody wants you to ride on their property anymore. A lot of the farmers let us still, as long as we stay on the tracks. But a lot of people that moved up here, they don't want you to ride on their property anymore. So when I was a kid, you could ride everywhere up here. Almost all these roads were dirt roads, and now a lot of people that moved in, they don't want you even near them. But along with that is you get a lot of these you know, Philadelphia, New Jersey and New York people that are living in the cities, and then when they come up here, they're like, oh look, there's deer. We've never seen deer before. And then there comes a kid on, you know, two young kids on a Honda 200 ripping through the field chasing these deer, and they're standing on their porch watching you. And then next thing you know, they're calling my dad and saying, hey, you know, we think that it's your son. We're not sure. We asked some other people, but he was out chasing deer. And then my dad says, hey, were you out chasing deer? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, that's what we do. I mean, what else do you want us to do? Look where we live. We live out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing else to do. And he's like, well, you know, the new people up there that moved in, they don't like people chasing the deer, so we would avoid that house and chase deer somewhere else. But anyhow, you know, times change, people change, all that stuff changes, and then before you know it, all this area is all people that aren't originally from this area, and nobody wants you near their property or on their property or anything like that. Which, I mean, if people come to me and say, hey, can we ride through your property? I'm like, yeah. But if you get hurt, you know, you're not suing me. You know, you're taking the risk of riding through the property. You know, I have friends come up and ride and all that, and I pretty much will let people ride if they ask. Now, when they don't ask, it's a different story, because then they're just back there riding around and I don't know they're back there. And I do hunt, so I could be back there hunting and then you're coming through with your four-wheeler or bike or whatever. But if I know that you're back there, I, you know, don't have a problem with it. And a lot of farmers don't have a problem with us riding the edges of the fields and stuff. So we ask everybody. But there's a lot of people, a lot of the people we ride on are people that's lived up here, or their families have lived up here and that. But all the new people, yeah, they don't let you do nothing. You know, there's a couple of cabins behind us that we used to be able to go up through there and all that, and the one guy ended up dying, and now the new people that have it, which is relation to him, which, you know, I'd say, oh, well, the guy before you let me use this access road to get into my property, and they're like, nope, you can't come on our property. Nope, I don't want to see you on our property. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I'm using from, you know, basically from this edge of this road to the sign of his little driveway, and then I go into my property because it borders his. And no, because if you get hurt and this and that, I'm like, I'm not going to sue you. I have insurance on everything I ride. So, you know, but, you know, I understand what he's saying. He doesn't want to get sued and this and that, but at the same token, it's kind of hard for me because I've been riding, you know, up that for, well, my dad, he bought it, and then I bought it, so we've had that property 35 years probably, and I'm used to riding it, you know. And then the other people come along and say, no, you can't ride it, and that's what happened a lot with, I know this vlog's going real long. I guess I'm going to probably split it up into a couple different pieces, but so if you're watching and you're like, well, what do you mean the vlog's going long? It just started or whatever. It's because I cut it into pieces, but basically, I don't remember what I was saying. Think. I know I was talking about people moving up, and then, well, guys, I don't remember what I was saying. That's pretty funny in itself, I guess. I don't even remember what I was saying. I was going to say something coming up the hill, and now I don't remember. Jeez, I guess when you hit 40, that stuff starts to happen, because there's lots of stuff I don't remember. I hope I'm not getting old, but I guess I am. Wow, I just talked all that time, and now I can't even think of anything to say because I lost my train of thought. But it is beautiful out here. All these fields that are getting all cut down, and all the trees are changing, and it's definitely fall in Pennsylvania, and we are definitely gonna have a rough winter, I think, because I don't remember it being this way last hunting season. I think it's October, November. What is it? It's going on November, and last year at this time it was still like 70, 80 degrees out. Yeah, and it's been down into the 40s and 50s at night here, so you can see all the corn. It's all, you know what I mean? It's ready to be cut and all that. But it's definitely, you can see all the trees, all the colors of the trees are real nice. But you can also see, look at all the leaves that have already fallen off the trees. And, you know, I mean, at this time of year, yeah, they're supposed to be falling off, but there's a lot of leaves on the ground already, a lot more than I ever remember. But I'm going to turn here. We're going to go through the field. We'll get a little bit of off-roading action in here. Hopefully I don't go down. I haven't been riding off-road with this in a while. Hey, we made it. And the thing with these DRs is that suspension is really soft. I mean, really for my size of guy riding this bike, I really should put heavier springs in that. But I bought the bike just to ride, and I didn't buy it to jump and all that stuff. So, oh, you know what? I probably shouldn't go through the field because it is archery season. But you know what? I don't know if anybody hunts out here anyhow, but I'm already committed. So I'm just gonna slowly go through the field here and go out to the road because I didn't feel like going up and getting on the main road. Hopefully I don't get shot with a bow. That would suck, wouldn't it? I mean, I'd bleed out before I'd even make it anywhere. So hopefully there's no archery hunters out here getting mad at me. Yeah, I had a big old buck coming through and some goofball on a DR, blue DR, went through the field. I haven't been hunting as much as I used to. I got a real nice 8-point last year, so I didn't, I'm kind of spoiled, and he's almost perfect. Like broad tines are all the same size. His tines they're real long and they're all the same size. The one on the right hand side is a little bit longer than the other one, but for the most part they're about the same size. And he's real nice, so I think I got spoiled. But that's the biggest buck I've ever gotten, and I've been hunting since I was 12. I got tons of little 4 points and 5 points and basket 6 points and yada yada. My dad was a meat hunter, so he's like, you know, if a buck is legal and he walks in front of you, shoot him. And back when I was a kid, you didn't have antler restrictions. We have antler restrictions now, which they state if you legal for an adult, it needs to have 3 horns on one side. So it's got to have at least 3 horns on one side. So you can technically still get a 3-point, but so now with the antler restrictions, there's getting bigger bucks and stuff. But the buck is he was a real nice buck, and I'm really happy with him. So I don't know what it is. I've only went out like 4 or 5 times with my bow, and I don't feel as excited to be out there as I used to. Even though my wife is like, go get some deer, we need deer meat. I'm like, I don't want to sit out there. I got other things I can do. I don't want to just sit out in the woods when I could be riding my motorcycle or messing on the computer or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I might take a year or 2 off, and then I will maybe I'll take a year or 2 off and then I'll get back into archery. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna go this way. Whoa! Did you see that? I hit that board. I almost went face planted it. I don't think nobody hunts this, so I don't know. Usually we try to do Sundays, so I actually forgot it was Saturday. So hopefully, I don't think anybody's out here. I hope not. If somebody says anything, I'll just be like, I thought it was Sunday. Which, I probably shouldn't do that, but I did actually think it was Sunday, though. Okay, there's a tree stand up there, but nobody's in it, so I think we're alright. That's a problem. Man, if I had a regular street bike, I would have just stayed on the street. But now, I know I can go off-road with this thing, so it's like, why not just go off-road? But I'll tell you what, this is a little bit to handle compared to the old KX250 Hammer. It's a little bit to handle. A lot of fun on dirt roads and regular roads, but riding in the fields and the dirt and stuff, you can feel it. Definitely is a little bit of weight to it. Still a lot of fun though. Yeah, it just gets sucked right in there. Where the KX, I would zipper right across that like it was nothing. Well, they cut the field, and remember, I don't know if you saw the previous videos when we come out through here, the field was all really high and it was slapping you, and you'd be flying out through here and just all the weeds and stuff would be flying all over the place. But I like going out in evenings like this. It's really nice. Everything's calm and you're just cruising along. And so it was, I know it was probably a long, I talked a long time, so I will probably break that up in parts. Oh, look at all the deer. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 deer, so hopefully no hunters are out here because they'll be mad at me. I'm gonna see if we can get, that's a pretty good view, I guess. Hopping across, boing, 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 nope, gone. So, often wondered if they went in there to eat that stuff because it was all dried out and stuff, but I guess they do. So hopefully we got some good footage of that. Somebody's probably sitting in a tree, seeing them all in the field. Then I come through, ruin it all. You ruiner. Oh, look at there. There's a Northeast Pennsylvania wildcat. Look at that. Hopefully you guys can see it. Yeah, look at that thing. That thing's crazy. That's a neighbor's cat. Just kidding. But that's all I got. That's all I can think of. So I guess what I'll have to do is mark that off my list as I told you that story. I know it bled into like a whole different other topics and stuff like that, but that's the thing with me. You never know what you're gonna get. You just don't know. What you really gotta do is just get in, get on, get over top, whatever you're doing, buckle yourself down and hold on, because you don't know what's gonna happen. Have a good one, and always remember the trail signs. That means 5 people, that means 2, this means there's none. Remember that. Talk to you later.